Alright, so I just thought that I would go ahead and do a review of the Acqua Di Gio line by Armani. I know a lot of people have probably already seen a million videos on the line, but I just want to give my viewpoint, my thoughts on it. It is one of my favorite, really scent profiles of all time. I grew up wearing the original Acqua Di Gio. Wore it in high school, wore it in early college. Throughout freshman year of college, I started to kind of transition out. I started wearing, also by Armani, Armani Code Profumo. I wore Diesel, Fuel for Life. Those were two that I wore pretty heavily as well, kind of just to kind of take a break from Acqua Di Gio. But Acqua Di Gio was something I had always worn throughout high school, my younger years, and then in freshman year of college. I loved it. And so I'm just going to be reviewing the line today. Again, it is one of my favorite lines. I think Armani is, if not my favorite designer fragrance house, it's certainly up there. I think the only one that could potentially give it a run for the money, and I mean actual designer, not like niche designer, but designer ballpark price range too, maybe Dior. But I am a huge fan of Armani from, again, a designer standpoint. As you can see, this has got a lot of wearing. I've gone through, I don't know how many bottles of this in my lifetime. I don't wear it as much anymore, just because it is such a dated scent, and I have worn it so heavily in the past. But you really do get this just immediately identifiable aquatic scent profile that no other fragrance has really been able to replicate. There are clones of it. Most of the clones suck, though, to be honest with you. And even the clones that do a sort of okay job of it miss the mark to a degree. And I think this is just, it really is something truly special. It actually has, if you were to ask me what's one fragrance that has a true aquatic scent profile, this is it. It's just something about it. You know, a lot of the commercials is somebody like diving in the ocean or diving out of the ocean or coming out of the ocean, whatever. And that's exactly what I picture when you smell that. It really brings you into that kind of oceanic standpoint, but in a way that's done so well and seductively. It doesn't smell like seaweed. It doesn't smell like, the kind of like overly salty or anything like that. But it just gives you this, kind of transports you to this super fresh, aquatic paradise almost. Anyway, it's fresh. It's certainly masculine. It has this nice masculine edge to it, and that is why it's always been a huge compliment getter. It certainly has been very well received by the community. I believe it is still the #1 selling men's fragrance of all time, for good reason. Performance isn't great. It's poor aroma concentration. It used to be better. It's never crazy good, though. I think people just didn't care as much in the past as they do now about performance, to be honest with you. I would spray it and kind of forget it. And but poor aroma, you get about 4 or 5 hours out of this, which is more than enough, in my opinion. Yeah, it is just, again, it's something truly special. It's this super fresh, super aquatic with this woody background that just kind of gives it this nice masculine edge. And it's not juvenile. It's not like, Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua or something along those lines where it has this kind of like bubblegummy sweetness to it. This is a man scent, but it is amazing. So this is the original, right? And then since then, there's been a ton of flankers to come out. One is Absolute. This is kind of what I was saying the original was not. This sweetens it up, slightly darkens it up, but makes it more juvenile. So this does kind of go that Invictus Aqua route, okay? It makes it more candy-like. It still has that Acqua Di Gio DNA, but it goes more of the Invictus Aqua route. It's got that sweet kind of bubblegummy profile to it. Still fresh, still mass appealing. Sweetness is still going to get you compliments. I think, though, to me, this took a departure in a way that was not for the best. Now, it's different, and it's not going to immediately remind somebody of their dad or their grandpa, because, the original has been around for so long, but it smells juvenile. I think if you're a young teenager or in your early 20s, you could pull this off. I don't wear it much because of that. I think it's too juvenile. It's too sweet. And again, it just kind of comes off like Invictus Aqua or something like that. Now, Absolute, there's another flanker called Absolute Instinct, and that is a similar style bottle. It's a little darker. That I have not smelled, so that one I will not be able to give my opinion on, but I've heard from a lot of people that it smells too mature. So instead of going juvenile route, a lot of people say it smells like an old man's cologne. From all the videos I've seen reviewing it, the street tests or they'll have people on and rate the fragrance. They've all been bad. Overwhelmingly said it smells like an old man or a grandpa. So I've never been inclined to buy it. It seems like it's probably the least well received from the Acqua Di Gio line. And then you had Profondo, which, and these are not the order these came out or anything, but Profondo is basically Acqua Di Gio's, their take on a blue fragrance. Bleu de Chanel, the Dylan Blues of the world, Dior Sauvage. This is them basically trying to jump on that bandwagon while still incorporating the original Acqua Di Gio DNA, and it does it very well. Again, it modernizes the DNA. It makes it even more versatile than the original. And trust me, the original is super versatile. You could wear that really whenever. I wore it all year round. But this modernizes it even more to where this would be more even appropriate, I think, in the winter than the original, because the original is super aquatic, super fresh. This kind of darkens it up slightly and gives it more of a kind of fresh blue depth kind of to it. It's going to remind you of something like Bleu de Chanel or Dylan Blue. It is in that category. It's not going to be the abrasiveness of something like Dior Sauvage, but it is going to have that same kind of DNA. Because of that, I find it to be honestly quite boring. I know this is super well received by a lot of people. A lot of people love this. I prefer the newest flanker from the line, which is Profondo Lights. This is a backup bottle. My main bottle's at work, so I'm not going to open this yet. But it looks very similar to this. It's just got a kind of actually a cooler looking bottle. It's clear, but it's similar kind of blue tint on the bottom. What this did is it took the Acqua Di Gio Profondo DNA, which was kind of the modern blue DNA, and it added a more depth to it. It darkened it up, and it added more of that greenness to it. So it's more marine. There's also this kind of more natural greenness that really makes you actually think of the ocean, okay? It's much more oceanic to me. It smells like kind of what you would imagine the deep ocean smells like. And it's great. It's more interesting. It's less boring than the Profondo in my opinion. I think this is the best of between this and Profondo. Certainly think this is better than Absolute. This is my second favorite in the line. Okay. Now I will always love the original, but as far as me wearing and what I wear now, this is my second favorite. Now my most favorite is this. So I got the giant bottle, and I got plenty of backups of this too. I believe this is the 4.2 or the 6.08. I have this one. I have a backup 4.2 still in the box, and then I have this size at the office, 100 mil or 75 mil of Profumo at the office. This to me is the best in the line, and it used to get a lot of hype. Recently, it's been kind of getting hated on. It takes the, again, Acqua Di Gio DNA, but instead of making it, which is kind of like more modern blue fragrance, it darkens it up and matures it up, and it makes it a classy sort of more, almost more formal fragrance. It adds incense in there that really kind of, again, gives it this darkness to it, gives us this kind of mysterious kind of vibe to it, makes it more seductive, in my opinion. And makes it even more versatile than the original, because you can certainly pull this off very well in the winter and fall months, whereas the original you can do it, but it's still an aquatic. This, though, is much more versatile. It's much more grown man sort of smell, and it takes, again, the original DNA, but does something unique with it to where it's not going to smell like something you've smelled a million times before. Some people say they get an egg smell from this. I can faintly see why they're trying to say that or where they're getting that from. It does not smell like eggs to me, but I get kind of where they're trying to get that from. I will say this is my girl's favorite on me by far. So take that for what it's worth. I've gotten plenty of compliments on this as well at work. It is very well received. So it's my favorite. The way I rank these as far as how I wear them today, meaning, modern times, this gets the most wear, followed by this, which is why I bought a backup bottle. Then I'd go with the normal Profondo, and then maybe Absolute, but I don't really wear it. I don't really wear the original anymore either, just because I've worn it so much in the past. Profumo and Profondo Lights get the most wear for me. But yeah, like I said, this is the maturest of the line. It is the, in my opinion, the sexiest of the line, with maybe the original being right there because of its own DNA. But this is Profondo is certainly super mass appealing still. It's just kind of safe and boring in my opinion. And Profondo Lights takes that, but makes it more unique, gives it this little more intrigue. Again, gives it more kind of a green marine edge to it. And that's why I think this is really a much better fragrance than the Profondo itself. And then again, this to me is just juvenile and kind of bubblegummy. So that is my take on it. My scent's still gone. My sense of smell and taste are still gone. I think they're starting to slowly come back. So I had poured another beer. This is a Thunder Snow by Matry. It's a Scottish ale with some fall spices to it. And I can taste the I don't want to say harshness, but the full-bodiedness of the Scottish ale. So I can't really taste much of what's in there or anything like that, but I think it's starting to come back, which is good because some people were saying months later they still haven't really gotten their sense of smell and taste back, so I hope it doesn't take them that long. Anyway, I think this would be good because these are all fragrances I smelled a million times. I didn't really need to dive too much, into spraying them and rating them or anything like that. But I just want to give you kind of a review, in my opinion, on all of them. This is obviously a quick review. I'm not diving into specific notes or anything like that. Just kind of how they actually smell and what it comes across as. Again, just a quick kind of line review, house review. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions or anything like that, just put it in the comment section below.